The talk for today is invest in the life you want to experience. And I came to this, well, I just write down titles. I have a wonderful assistant who prods me and says, you need them and you need them now. So I make stuff up. And then I must be listening to what I'm going to be falling into, or somehow I take a title and then the information comes to me because it all starts to work together. And what I remember now is that there is a church, and I think it's the Congregational Church, but somebody will tell me, it's the ones that have on the side of the building, God's still speaking. I love that. It didn't happen a long time ago, wherever a long time ago is. It didn't happen a long time ago. Spirit didn't download to a few people and then skip town and we'll show up later to see how we're doing. It is actually always presenting itself to people who are willing to listen. I honestly believe that if you're truly open to something, if you really want to be inspired with something, even a cereal box can be your instructor. Obviously, you had a cereal box experience. That's so cool. Oh, yeah, the cereal box. Just to give you a few illustrations, I was listening to a peer of mine, and she was going to go speak to a different congregation. And so she wasn't really sure what they were into or what they needed to hear. And she kept saying, okay, Spirit, show me what I'm supposed to say to them. Tell me what I'm supposed to say to them. I want to be used by you. Use me, let me be your voice. And she's looking for inspiration. And then all of a sudden, she starts to look through her mail, and she saw something that she'd seen a lot of times, and you've seen it too, but it was the inspiration for her talk, because it really impressed her, and it really impressed them when they heard it. And that is on the envelope, not even opening the mail, on the envelope is, "You are pre-approved." And how many of you think you have to somehow do something to gain some sort of approval from some sort of universal slot machine? Yeah. Some universal, honestly, we have dummied down God to Santa Claus. Dummied it down. The universe is always speaking, the universe is always giving. Are we willing to receive? And so if we think we can't because, guess what? You're already pre-approved. You're already pre-approved for blessings, for healings, for inspiration, for good stuff. So another a way that this showed up, I thought that I think is very interesting, is a story that Neville Goddard tells. And Neville Goddard was a metaphysical teacher in the last century. I love saying that, in the last century. We have the last century. He was speaking in the 50s and 60s, and he tells a story about his wife who sat up in bed early one morning and said, "Oh, I just had this dream, and this is what the dream said." She said, I was told I must stop spending my thoughts, time, and money. Everything in life must be an investment. Everything in life must be an investment." And he wrote it down because he thought it was a great idea too. And so then they looked into what spending means and what investment means. And then he goes on to say, well, she didn't really apply this to her life. I figured that she got it so that I could hear it because I'm applying it to my life. And he wrote a book about it. And I read it, and I'm like, oh, I really have to look at the way that I am living my life. Am I spending or am I investing? And it totally shifted me. I realized that just a few days ago that I realized that I was spending time waiting to go to Egypt. Spending time waiting. Because I know I'm going to have a great time. Well, why not have a great time today? How many of you do that? You wait for something. You put off. Harold shared this earlier at first service during the Good News, that he was inspired by Rob, because Rob knew that you can't just wait for a vacation to go have fun. So Rob, if they have 2 days, they go places. So over their 2 days off, they went to New York to see My Fair Lady. No, it wasn't. Hello, Dolly. I'm so sorry. Yes, you're right. That is a different set of songs. You're right. I would have been singing. I would have been horrible at that sing-along. I climb every mountain. Oh, no, wrong musical. Yeah. So you see that's just an example of, are you waiting? Are you putting it off? Then you're spending. Let me share with you what spending and investment means. I looked it up last night. To spend means to disperse. To expend, consumed, it's exhaustion or exhausted of activity or required components. It's gone. Investment, on the other hand, is putting time or money into something, hoping for a return greater than the original investment. So are you spending or are you investing? And when I looked at this, I realized that I'm already starting to wake up to this idea. I guess I have started to live this talk for a number of weeks now. I'm paying attention to when I waste precious mental energy trying to understand someone else. What a waste. I could be doing other things. I worry sometimes about the future that may or may not occur. What a waste. Especially when I know how to use my mental capacities in other ways. And then I have spent a lot of money on cowboy boots that I'll never be able to wear. Because I go to this place and they have so many. And they come in these great colors. And I don't have those colors yet. Of course, I have no clothes to go with those colors. So I need to get the clothes to go with the colors of the cowboy boots. How many of you? There could be a 12-step group for us. Hi, I'm Kathy Ann, and I have cowboy boots. Hello, Kathy Ann. How many of you know that you spend? If spending were here and investment are here, where on this sliding scale are you? Are you spending your time, spending your money, spending your mental capacity, spending your thoughts? Or are you investing in something that you would like to have happen in the near and far future? So how many of you would like to invest in a prosperous life, which would mean more freedom, more hope, and more confidence? Who would like to invest? Great, then I got 4 hot tips for you. Hot investment tips, you heard them here. First of all, see your checking accounts as healthy, or your bank accounts as healthy. See them healthy. And healthy is individual. One of the things I said on the 8th is that the way for you will be different than the way for everybody else. The way for Neville happened to inspire me to go my way, but I'm sure other people had heard of Neville and read what Neville said, and it wasn't their way. So you have to wait for your way. When you come to a place like this, we just throw out a bunch of ways. And you'll take the ones that work for you. Jesus was saying the same thing when he was talking about fertile soil, and he's just throwing seeds out. And some of them will land on you, and it'll be the thing that you needed to hear at that time. Just like I need to look at how I'm investing my time, my money, my energy, my faith. What am I investing in? Or am I just spending? So the way to see your account, and this is something that I've done before, so I'm just throwing it out there, that it really did work for me, is I started to see my accounts with the balances I wanted to see in them. I wasn't trying to figure out how to shift the balances. I just wanted to see my monthly statements reading a certain thing. And now that I have Quicken and I have all of my accounts, I see the bottom line of the Quicken account where I want it to be, with all my savings and all my investments and all my everything. I don't know what they're called, but I just put them in there. And the checking and everything else, and I see it where I want it to be. And it's not where it is. I see it where I want it to be. I'm investing in my future because I believe that what we continue to see in our mind, we will start to see in our environment. I mean, if you're here, you know that. I'm only reminding you. I'm asking you to make it practical and to begin the process of doing it this way. And what's so great is it only takes a few seconds. How many of you have at least 2 seconds available during the day? Wow, what a small investment. 2 seconds. And you might add some more seconds when you actually do look at your accounts and they're not where you want them to be. Then you've got to take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. You look at it, you bless it. And then you sort of see the numbers you want to see. You're not looking at what comes in and what goes out. You're just seeing the balance. You're seeing what you want to see. See it. Now exhale. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. So for anyone that says, I can't do that, then you're really saying, I won't do that. I won't do that. You can't make me do that. I may be poor, but I'm right. See where you are in a year, honestly. Do that every single day. Do it every time you look at your accounts and see where you are in a year. I'm saying this because I went from always in the red to always in the black. I use it with all of my accounts because when I was told about 8 years ago that the thing that I had invested in, my retirement account, my pension that I'd invested in for 20-some years was kaput. I could have either spent my time making them wrong, spent my time worrying about how I would eat in my later years, or I could spend my time seeing the kind of money that I wanted to have readily available to me. And in 8 years, you know what? I got it. And I didn't do anything big. If you know me, I did not go without. I did not scrimp. I just allowed that end result, which is the end, to be the means that would instruct me about what's mine to do now, what's mine to do now, what's mine to do now, what's mine to do now. And it's amazing how unexpected money started to fall in line and fall into my awareness, and therefore I would put it in my investment accounts. But I first started with just seeing what I wanted. Seeing what I wanted. Over and over again. Even when it wasn't there. Take a deep breath. Now be honest with yourself. Would you be willing to do that? What a small investment for a return. And some of you are still hesitant. So then see yourself as not hesitant. There's a line in the Bible that says, "Prove me now." And I think the universe is always still speaking and saying, "Prove me now. Prove it. Prove to yourself that you are a creative expression of the universe showing up in form." We are in the most unchurched city in the United States. Well, we're the third. We're like, what is that? Win, place, or show? We're the show. For unchurched cities. So if you are here and you took the time to drive here, then make a commitment to see what you want. See what you want. See what you want. See it over again and over again and over again until it shows up. Now the next thing to invest in, this might be a little harder, I just started with the easy one, is to invest in forgiveness. For some reason, money, abundance, prosperity, and forgiveness are closely linked. If you read the book by Edwene Gaines, she has four principles, 4 things to do. One of them is forgiveness. I think it was all started by that radical Charles Fillmore. When he wrote a book called Prosperity, which I think is probably one of the best books on prosperity. I don't use it a lot because it's very esoteric. And he goes, la, 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 la. And so I like the more, let's bring it down to today's language. But he has a chapter in this book called Prosperity called God Will Pay Your Debts. Ooh. And he's basing it off of a verse from the New Testament that says, well, it's actually a version, because there's many versions of the Lord's Prayer. And this particular version of the Lord's Prayer goes that forgive me my debts as I forgive those who have debted against me. So as I forgive others, I want my debts forgiven. And Charles Fillmore took it literally. Well, there was a gentleman that I knew who was very much in debt, had about $65,000 worth of debt. And I was praying for him, and he was doing his thing. And my way was for him to create a plan where you pay off the debt, you pay off the little ones, and then the bigger ones, and then you take all of the extra money and you don't spend anything on anything for a year. You eat, I don't know, top ramen. It's $65,000 for goodness sakes. Top ramen, no Starbucks. In fact, don't even get designer coffee, Folgers. And no milk. I had my way. He had his way. His way is he just read Charles Fillmore. God will pay my debts. His little eyes lit up. I said, fine. Guess what? Where I would have made a list of all of the debt and how they were going to be eliminated and when, he made a list of everyone that he had something against. And he just started checking them off. Forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving. And it was amazing how extra work came in, extra money came in, paid him more than he expected. Things happened, and in a year, he was $65,000 out of debt. Are you willing to do your forgiveness work? Everyone. Even the tough ones. Because if you are holding anyone away from you, you are creating the other, them. And if you create them, then, well, just look. Do I look like I'm receptive to greater good? It's just a push. Our heart is closed and there's no free flow of the universe, which isn't it interesting? I'm talking about free flow of the universe, and money is often called currency. It's hard to flow when you hold things against others. So invest in forgiveness. The next one. Hot tip number 3. Invest your time and energy into big plans and ideas. Big plans and ideas. Invest in big plans and ideas. And I realized that recently I haven't been investing in big plans and ideas. Egypt is now easy. So much of the stuff I do, it's just easy. It's been a long time since I've invested in something big. Now, there was a big plan to retire with some money. But that's fulfilled. Now let's go. What else? What else? Big. If the bigger you plan, the more you have to become bigger to allow yourself to become the kind of person that would definitely have that experience. But a lot of us don't plan until something else works out. Like we don't plan the trip of a lifetime until we have the money. Well, plan the trip of a lifetime and the money will show up. Jerry Berry will tell you about that, right? You want to preach, sister? You would preach to that, right? And so many other people would too. They just decide to do something and then the money shows up. Karen Cleveland, is Karen here? You heard from her a few Sundays ago. Karen Cleveland decided to have a piece of property in more what we call country area, so that she could have an animal sanctuary and an animal business. And guess what? She has it. And there was, at the time she planned that, the time she intended it, there was no support for it. The support came to support her intention. That's the way it works. First, you put it out there. Then the ideas and the support start to show up. This has happened to me in so many ways. And then what we do is we don't try to make it happen. We do what we can to make it welcome, whatever it is, whatever we have out there. Are we making it welcome? I loved Karen's story. So here she is, she's bankrupt, she has no credit, not enough money to pay for a home, but she does want this piece of property out in the country, so she buys some boots and some gloves. So that's what she could afford at the time. She's making welcome in her mind the property showing up. Are you willing to invest in something bigger than what you're now experiencing? Invest in that. And the way you invest in it is you just continue to think about it, plan for it, be welcoming to it, see yourself there, go to bed as though it were an accomplished thing. Sleep in the new bed in the new house. Go to sleep thinking that you are now on the Riviera or wherever you want to go. Oh, I love the sound of the ocean. Then, the fourth hot tip. Invest in your spiritual identity, and most of what I've been trying to say all month, it has to do with that. Invest in your identity. That's really what you're here for. That's really why these ideas about seeing a future that is bigger, why it works is because it makes you bigger, expanding into a person who would naturally have those things, because that's who you really are. We are creative expressions of the Most High. We all already have what we need inside of us, and we're being asked to express that. So see yourself as a kind, generous, courageous, lovable, loving person, whatever you think that you need to be. I loved it when Karen Schiller said, I became love, and so love showed up. Know yourself as always having what you need, and what you need will always show up. Let's go even get really out there. See yourself, feel yourself as wealthy, which means well-being. And wealth will start to show up. And you invest in that, because the first few times you do it, you might get a piddly return. But continue to see yourself, continue to see yourself, continue to see yourself, continue to talk about yourself. The way you talk, I am, and let those things happen. Now, what I'd like to do is, in this time together, with an investment, a time to invest your time, your energy, and your imagination into a future that you would like. But before I do that, I'd like to know if there's any questions or prayer requests. We had a great question first service. It was fabulous, and it just was perfect for that group. But that was their way. Anyone have a prayer request or comment? Gay is available. We have microphones. Come on up. Okay. It's Cara.
Mine is a prayer request.
Okay.
So I was recently told by someone who's considered a mystic healer that I could transform my kind of medical issues into helping others. And I've been meditating on that, and would love the opportunity to do so. And I think that, on reflecting in that space, it would be really powerful and meaningful for me. And I find a lot of passion in that. And so I would love to send a prayer into the universe to say, I would love to help the opportunity to bring my sort of healing energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, so we have the idea.
Yeah.
And I need to tell you that I'd like you for this, I would like it to be around something that might be a prosperity issue for people.
Great.
But I love it. Don Beatty, for first service, said, we have an investment club every Sunday, and it's called the Prayer Circle. And that would be a great place to put this prayer. And what I'm looking for is something that would be general enough that would be affecting a lot of people, because not everyone wants to go out and be a healer.
Right. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, I like that. And I think it's taking a career question, right? It's saying, I'm not in that career now. May I find the right avenue to express that?
Well, that's also a great thing to say, which is, I was a minister long before I became a minister. So I had to be a minister because the phone company thought I was selling equipment, and and the March of Dimes thought I was raising money. But really what I was doing is telling people about how they could have a better life with anybody that would listen to me. So if you're a healer, you can always be a healer. You don't have to wait for the title or the job position. You just begin. And so there's something that I love to say, which is, as divine mind which I am, I preach the gospel, heal the sick. I cast out wrong ideas, and I raise up the downhearted so that they may recognize themselves as the divine that they are. I do it in the way of Jesus Christ, which is, it is not myself, but the Father within me that doeth the work. So you could begin that.
I like that.
I know.
Don't wait for it.
Don't wait. Thank you. That was the message. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. How many of you wait? See, that's time spent instead of time invested. So how am I going to be a healing influence for somebody? Okay, who has a prosperity question? Okay, right over here. Come on up. Come over. Oh, honey, you changed your hair.
I've gone blonde.
Do not. Well, I did too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you look so good. We're like twins.
Just the two of us, yes.
Yeah. And I'm going more platinum soon.
Oh, I love that.
It's a commitment. I had no idea.
I'm going to go over to the investment club over there and ask that I'd be brave enough to do that. Okay, go ahead.
It takes a lot of freaking prosperity.
I know.
So I felt very divinely called to step forward and build this community for women entrepreneurs. I just felt like this calling. And it's grown so much, so I feel like it's been a big investment, like this big vision I have, right? It has all of these members, all of these things. And I felt like I'm investing in this bigger vision in my life, and I feel really good about that. But I'm spending a lot of time trying to figure out which investment to invest in next that's actually going to bring about financial prosperity, right? So it's like I took a step forward, and now I'm just like this way and this way, you know, like that.
So what's the question?
How do I know?
Because
I'm spending to try to figure out where the next path is to invest. And
so tell me,
that's getting fuzzy.
You mean besides the women's entrepreneurial group?
Yeah, like within that, like which part of that to grow? Which part, like, and I keep asking, like, God, can you show me the way? You gave me all these people. Yes. What do I do with them?
So what did you want to do with them?
Create community.
Okay, so you wanted to create a community.
Lift them up.
Have them like feel empowered and amazing and like total badasses.
Yeah. We can't say that in here.
Whoops.
Anyway. We don't have a 6-second delay. So.
Oh yeah, and we're 11 o'clock, so around.
Yeah,
TV.
I know.
Okay. Hello.
So I feel like a judge. Ignore the bad word.
Yeah, just pretend it never happened.
It never happened. Okay, so here's the deal. You need to invest in yourself prospering, not how. Go back to my first investment tip. See, you invested in these women, and now, but you're not prospering yourself, right?
Right.
Okay, so don't go back and forth spending your time. Invest in seeing. Do you have an account? Do you have a business? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you invest in seeing your business accounts with the kind of balance that you want every month, and it's none of your business how it gets there. Either people will start paying you more.
I hope so.
Well, no, stop hoping.
Okay.
Hoping, blah.
No more hoping.
No,
Okay.
Four-letter word. Four-letter word. We don't use it here.
Bleep that out.
Yeah, bleep that out.
Yeah.
So you see your business with the bottom line that you want. You invest in your accounting system in your business by seeing it prosper. Then you go into your personal accounts got your own personal account?
Yeah.
Okay, and you see that where you want it to be. Mm-hmm. Because what you're doing is you're supporting other people. If you support other people and you're giving out, the universe owes you a living to keep doing that. Mm-hmm. Do you see, how many of you do really good work? Then you have to understand that the universe owes you a living so you can continue to do that work. Too many spiritual people, and let's just have an exorcism, brothers and sisters.
You're welcome, everyone.
Too many spiritual people think, but I'm doing good work. It's got to be enough. It's not. Good work deserves good compensation. It's worth it for you to do good work and be compensated. Can I get on a high horse? Yes. I only have low horses at home. They're not very tall, but anyway. I got a wonderful, absolutely, they came from a good place, but I got feedback on Facebook about me raising money for the company that builds the tiny houses and puts homeless people in tiny houses. With all of this stuff about, yes, but they only use property and it's going to go up in value. It's like, yeah, so that they can reinvest it. It's like, oh, so people that do good can't make money? What? Do you see why people go into the professions that are not very good? Because they need to make money to send their kids to college and other things, and yet people who are doing good work, they're supposed to just get by. Proves they mean it. Bunk. Bunk, bunk, bunk. If I were on TV, I'd say other words. What a bunch of bunk. So if you're doing good work, you deserve to be prospered, multiplied, pressed down, and running over in compensation for all that you're giving to the world. And then the universe says, yay and amen. So it's your job to see the results, to see the money coming in, to see the money coming in, to see the money coming in, to see the money coming in. It does not. And then you have to go like, I don't care who it comes from. I don't care how it happens. Because you are a servant and you are doing good work and you serve others and you bought into to prove how dedicated I am. I'll show them I'll do it without getting a lot of money. How many of you do that? Or know people that do that? Okay, so let's just say it together. Stop it. So let's go. I now know how we're going to do this little thing. We're going to go a little overtime. Is that okay? That's right over there. Gay. It's okay to go overtime? Great. So just become still. What Alessandra wants, and Alessandra, what Alessandra wants is more financial well-being, which is going to show up as money in the bank, right? So take a deep breath and ask yourself, what would you like? What would help you feel more prosperous? And when you know what that is, raise your hand. Great. Then I encourage you to follow along in this meditation. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale. Do that 2 more times. Deep breath. Exhale. Deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Get very centered in this moment. And let your holy wisdom self, that divine self, that higher self, that God self within, move you into the future. And imagine that it's 3 years from now. And you are somewhere enjoying a beautiful October day, a lovely day. And you're talking to some friends and saying, you know, it all started to turn around on October 28th, 2017. That's the day I started to invest in myself. That's the day I started to invest in my future. By investing my thoughts and my feelings and my actions into the world that I wanted to live in. Now take a deep breath again. And tell your friends in this visualization, tell your friends what's changed. For Alessandra, it might be something like, I always have all the money I need. I'm so wonderfully compensated. My groups are full, my women are prospering. My business is so big I've had to take on people to work with me. I keep getting bigger and bigger offices and clinics. I have enough money to support myself and my family in wonderful ways. Tell those things to your friends. And remember, it all started way back when, on October 28th, 2017. Before you really decided to invest in the life that you wanted to live. And now everything's changed. Without a lot of work, without a lot of struggle, it just happens. And you're so grateful. Now feel the gratitude. Take a deep breath and return to the room.